This is the Book Deal podcast,
where you will discover the inspiring stories behind your favourite books.
We interview seasoned and debut authors, as well as publishing industry professionals, to bring you the best tips and advice on how to get that elusive book deal.
So no matter what stage of writing you're at, we've got you covered. I'm Tina Strachan.
I'm Madeleine Cleary.
And I'm Natasha Rye.
And join us as we pull back the curtain of published authors.
One deal at a time. The Book Deal podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters which it's recorded on and pays respect to their elders past, present and emerging.
Tash, Mads, I'm so glad that we managed to find a little bit of time this week to have a chat, because we didn't think it was going to happen, did we?
Nope.
You girls are deep in the editing trenches, aren't you?
Yep.
I'm so glad you've been able to come up for a little bit of air, as everyone can hear from the excitement in their voices. Deep in the editing trenches. So thank you for popping up, and I'm so glad that we've managed to get some fresh air into you ladies and maybe a little bit of a reset. But this is book 2 now, editing for book 2. Very exciting. So you have done it before, but I don't know. I think every time's different, and that's what we're going to get into. But it's not just editing, because writing is your full-time job. You have other jobs, very big. You both have big, important, and quite sort of tricky occupations. They're not jobs that you can just take and leave, and not to mention family commitments as well, which are always there. Yeah, can we have a little chat about that? How are you managing to fit it in? Let's do a check first. Ladies, Mads, where are we at? How's your current emotional state?
Oh, you guys saw me wolf down my lunch just before this.
It was a sight, I have to say. I think it was a bowl of pasta and it disappeared in
I was actually
30
quite
seconds.
impressed. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, yeah, it's just how do you balance everything? I don't know. Currently recording this, and I'm hoping it's going to be okay, because I'm hot spotting off my phone because I couldn't work out how to connect to my workplace's internet. We're recording this podcast while I'm at my workplace. I'm on my lunch break if my boss is listening, so don't worry, it's not on work time. Trying to just balance everything. So this morning I was up on the 7:07 train, working away on my edits in my 50-minute train ride, trying to get through it. Yeah, I think honestly the edits are actually going okay. It's just, how do you stop feeling guilty about pushing back things? And I'm a type A personality, I admit it. I like to do everything, and I don't like to say no, and I don't like to disappoint people. And yeah, so for context, I have received my edits back about a week ago, and I've been given 3 weeks, which is a really tight deadline. And it's not copy edits, it's like a structural edit, second round. And it's funny because when I received it, I was like, oh, really? I thought maybe we could go straight to copy edits after the last one. But reading through the comments from my editor and my publisher, like, they were on point and they were so right. And they're so lovely. They did say, if you need more time, let us know. We can try and work things around. But again, I'm a type A personality and I want to deliver on deadline and on schedule. So yeah, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to reschedule my whole life the next 3 weeks and just focus on the edits. But that was not possible. I felt, and I was saying this in the chat, I think I'm a type of person who actually needs to get out, and I'm a bit of an extrovert and I get energy from people. And so even if I was not working, I think I'd find it really difficult to just stay at home all day and just do my edits, because I just think it's physically not possible. So on Saturday, Melbourne Demons, my favourite, were playing against the top side, Fremantle, and my dad was going, and my bestie and her parents, and I almost pulled out. I almost said no, and because it's like a whole day, right, pretty much. And I decided to go, and I brought my laptop on the train to do my edits and stuff. Sorry, this is a very long answer to your question, Tina, but this is where my head is at. We won by 4 points.
It was a great game. Go D's. There was a lot of screaming at my husband's from Melbourne, and his family were up as well, so there was a lot of yelling.
Oh my gosh, being there was the best. It was honestly probably the best day of my life, I actually think.
Wow.
It was so wonderful. I was like hugging strangers. Everyone was crying. It was just so wonderful. And then I went home and then I went and babysat my nieces that night. And I was exhausted and I was happy and I was joyful. And I was like, oh my God, if I'd said no to all these things, I would have just missed out on life, right? Because life doesn't stop when your edits come in.
No. And do you think it's almost like it increases your productivity as well? Because, which kind of sounds counterintuitive, but it's like the whole meditation thing. If you'd stayed home and tried to push through hours and hours more of edits, you possibly wouldn't have been that productive anyway, or it might have been
while the
rubbish and you got
demons
rid
are
of it.
beating the top side on the
That's
ladder,
right.
and it's 3 games till the finals, and I'm just so excited. And it's so funny because I feel so bad because we have to make our big announcement as well. We
Okay.
can announce this, which we will in a sec, but we'll talk about that funny thing that I mentioned and what might
when we
happen.
announce. Okay, yes, I know that is cool. Okay, so I'm loving that, and I love that sort of advice there, Mads, for those, because everybody's different, but potentially for you, like yourself as an extrovert and other extroverts, come these really busy times with deadlines. Sometimes it is good to just get out and keep doing your thing, or socializing, or making that contact. A circuit breaker maybe refreshes you for some really good writing when you get back to it, instead of just trying to slog through.
I agree. And I agree with you, Tina. It makes you more productive. That 50 minutes on the train, super productive.
Yes, I love that. And what about you, Tash? Mental health check, how are we going?
Wow. My experience of edits is so different to yours, Mads, because I am one of those people who can literally sit for 8 hours and just
same.
be completely immersed, which is what I've been doing because I'm literally on the same deadline as you. I had 3 weeks. And while it's a copy edit, no one could ever mistake my manuscript as being one generated by AI because she has literally edited every single sentence in this 100,000 page manuscript. So I'm literally sentence by sentence checking out the voice, the rhythm, if it matches me, blah, 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 and she's just moving things around. She's not rewriting anything, but she's been so thorough. And then alongside the copy edits, there are some structural changes that are still needed. So I've been doing the opposite of you because I found that the few social things I have kept, all I can do is think about my edit, and I just bore the shit out of people by going, and so I'll have to do this, and then I have to do this. And my non-writer friends are just like, okay, so just do it. But my writer friends are like, oh my God, get home now, do it. Yes. And also, I guess for me, it's a tricky situation because I had received my structural edits. No, I had, before, while I was waiting for my copy edits to come back, my publisher, Pantera Press, was consolidated into Huddy Grant, and they no longer exist in that form. And so now I have a new publisher. So it's been a roller coaster is probably not the right word, more like a plunging into the depths that I didn't know were there. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just obviously lots of change in a very short period of time, while the book has to keep going through all these different stages of editing. So yeah, it's just a lot.
It's really tough, Tash. It's significant, isn't it? At this point
Yeah.
in the book as well, because you want, I suppose the other thing you're always thinking is you want people to support it, and they will. They absolutely will.
Of course they will. Yes.
Because you've poured so much of yourself into
Yeah.
this, and you want it to have the easiest journey to publication, but sometimes that's not always
exactly
the way.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm finding that for me, focused long days are quite good. And I've realized that it while it's great for the creative part of me and the brain part, I am noticing that my body is, can you please move now? So I have to remind myself that I can get it done in the time. Because I'm like you. I'm like, I cannot have any extensions. They haven't offered me one, in all fairness, but I haven't asked because I'm just like, I have to get it back by that time. So, yeah.
Yes, why do we do it to ourselves?
Because we all want to be the teacher's pet, okay? We just want to do the right thing and we want our publishers to love us. That's why.
I know. And I'm like, not only am I a massive book nerd, but I'm like a massive rule nerd too. Someone says to me, don't go there. Even if I really want to, I'll be like, okay. And I just won't do it.
Did you ever ask for an extension, Tina, when you were doing the work?
I did in the end. Yeah, I did for something. Oh, look, I had COVID at one point, right? The week that it was due, and my brain just couldn't do it. It couldn't function. And I just would open it up and I just stare at the screen. I think everyone's had COVID now, right? We all understand what that brain fog is. And all I wanted to do was like lie on the couch and just stare at the wall. And yeah, so I'd open up my computer and just stare at it like, what is even happening? I couldn't string it together. And of course they were so fine with extending it. And I was like, I just need another week or two, I think it was in the end. And everyone I know who has asked for extensions, it's always been so fine. I'm sure there's times where it's probably not fine. But I'd say the publishers maybe do work in a little bit of space for this kind of thing to happen, or there might be a little bit of give or take, I suppose, with the next kind of cogs in the wheel that we come up to. Yeah. So
yeah, and I really want to ask you, Tina, in a moment about what you've been up to, but I just want to say one last thing. You know how a couple of episodes ago we were talking about learning to write the book? We were talking about how the experience of writing book 2 or a second book, or even third, fourth, etc. I was thinking about this the other day. Just like when, as readers, you pick up a book and you have to figure out how to read the book, and the author is showing you how to read it. I feel it feels to me that the editing process is teaching me how to actually make this book better, because I actually didn't know until now. And all
That's great.
Yeah, and all of this feedback, while it's hardcore and it's in some parts stressful, it's also really clarifying things. Oh, I didn't know that this was missing, or I didn't know I could do that and this could be better. So I'm really learning about my own book, which is really cool.
Tash, with An Onslaught of Light, what was the copy edit like? Because I remember you'd done actually a lot of structural work before you even got picked up. So you were really far ahead in advance of publication as well. So what was your copy edit?
Oh, it was so light. And I remember my publisher at the time, Kate, was saying, this is the lightest copy edit I've ever seen, which now makes sense to me looking back, because I did so much work on it. And the last editor that I worked with before I started submitting, she went sentence level with me. That's how much she cared about the manuscripts.
But you had time, right?
Yeah, I had so much time.
This is the difference, I think, when you have a deadline, is you're not submitting it when you've had enough, when you've had all that time to sit on it. When it's your work before you start submitting it, you take as long as you want, and you can sit on it, and you can put it away, and you do all that sort of stuff to it, and you do your own structural edits as time goes on. And like you said, you're learning how to write it. That would have been a natural process anyway. It's just, yeah, you feel like you're doing it through this editing process in this squeezed amount of time, but you probably would have done that anyway. But now it just feels a little bit more maybe rushed or something, because
it's just a much tighter time. Yeah, but it is good to just realize that too, that this is actually, I'm learning lots, and it's really good. Yeah,
I completely agree. I find it's funny because when I submitted my first structural edit, I thought, oh, I've done this before. I think this is good now. I think it's ready for the next editing stage. And that's because I just had that feeling. And when it came back, I felt like I'd done something wrong. Like I hadn't hit the mark. And so I actually apologized to my publisher and my editor. I'm so sorry that it wasn't fully formed, and because I thought it was, and I'm sorry that we have to go through this. And in the email as well, another point where I thought I'd failed was she'd said, after this, we'll also do another line level edit. So kind of that sentence by sentence, Tash, before it even goes to a copy. And I was thinking, oh my God, is it really bad? Is this really bad? And then reading through the feedback, I was like, no, they're right. And thinking about it more, the reason why they're wanting to do all this is because they really care about
exactly. Yeah.
And they want to get it into its best format, like what you're saying, Tash. You're now starting to see what this book is. And I think I will have that experience in the next sort of couple of rounds.
And if you need to feel better, Mads, I can send you my copy edits with all her track changes.
Do you know, my editor wrote back immediately. She's like, don't apologize. She's like, nobody gets it right the first time.
This is the process, and it's teamwork now, and that's the difference too.
Exactly.
And you certainly do get your manuscript to a point where you're like, I can either sit on it for 6 months, or I could send it to somebody to help me look at it with different eyes. And I guess that's what your publishers are now. And look, they have to give us a deadline, because otherwise we just never submit it. We tinker on it with it for years.
Yes, that's right. And also, we're managing books that are like 100,000 words and complex plots and characters and stories and arcs, and we're all doing that in our brain, just in our little individual brain. Like, of
It's a
course,
lot.
we're not going to get it right.
Yeah.
Type
Yeah,
A
exactly.
personality. Why?
And
Why?
it is because they care. Because yes, I remember you messaging something about that recently. I could see you, and I forgot to respond back because my response was going to be, it is just because they want to make it as good as they can be. And when you do those big structural edits, that's when you do sometimes stuff up the lines anyway, because so you do need to go back through and have that big line edit again and then do the copy edit. Otherwise you can miss stuff. It's great that they're putting in that time and effort, because maybe some publishers or some authors just don't also get that amount of rounds potentially as well. Yes, because I've been watching you two from the outside looking in, because I'm not in any big editing phase at all. I'm in the fun, creative, flowy world of just writing and creating at the moment. So I can see it from the outside. I can see where you're at. And I think I even said from the outside looking in, I can see what's happening here. And you're doing the actual process that we all do every single time. And we know it. But when we're in it, we just lose that hindsight of, this is where we go. We take these dips. We doubt ourselves. We go, well, this is rubbish. This is terrible. Why did they even sign this book? What are they even thinking? I'm going to apologize to my publisher when it's there. It's like, no, this is the process. We doubt ourselves.
Yeah, I apologized to my publisher too. I was like, I think your colleague made a mistake when they took this to acquisitions. I actually said that.
What?
And she was looking at me. She was like, no, that's not, no.
It's the process. It's all signed authors, published authors, or new authors. It's just the process it's just the mandatory process. We all have to go through it. That's it.
I highly recommend everyone has a Tina Strawn in their life as well to
Oh,
help
I
carry
agree.
things, because honestly, Tina has been carrying this podcast for the last 2 months, I would say.
Exactly.
Oh, lucky. I love it. And I love you girls. No, no, it's been fun. And
Thank you,
take
Tina.
we take our turns, don't we? Yes, it all ebbs and flows.
Hi, I'm Lisa Nan Joo, and I'm super excited to introduce you to my debut novel, Mother Waters. This is a book about the ocean and grief and scientific obsession. At the heart of this book is Charlie, a marine scientist who leaves her oppressive marriage and embarks on an expedition to a mysterious ocean trench where her father disappeared when she was young. The person financing this mission is Dexter, the entitled son of a billionaire who's grappling with his own father's legacy. As Charlie and Dexter descend into the trench, they find themselves uncovering not just the dazzling creatures of the deep, but also their own buried histories. Mother Waters combines the ecological creepiness of Annihilation with some of that egoistic greed that we love from Succession. It's a haunting literary adventure, exploring the lengths to which we'll go to get answers. Mother Waters is published by Affirm Press, and it's out now in all good bookstores.
What are you up to, Tina?
Yeah,
Tell us
what are you up
what's
to?
life on the
Some good
flowy,
news.
the
Yes.
flowy
Flowy
side?
creative. Oh, okay. Lots of flowy creative writing at the moment, which has been super fun, playing with a few ideas. But also, so we're in August at the moment, and August is basically book month for children's literature. The Children's Book Council of Australia have an actual designated book week, which is next week, and that's when the schools do a lot of school author talks and like the dress up book week parade thing, which is always very cool. And so that's the main week, but it's like over the last few years or more spread out past that, and it's not just that week where authors are doing talks, it's all throughout the month and even flowing into September, and just lots of other events that are surrounding that week. So I've got a few events coming up, but 2 this weekend. I'm on the Sunshine Coast this weekend. I've got some school visits over the next couple of weeks, and so preparing for that, because as fun as they are, you do always have to, I feel like I'm always updating my presentations before I go, because things have changed, or I come up with a new idea, or you see what works and then, or what doesn't work, and then you want to change it a little bit for next time. So that takes up a fair bit of time as well, doing that, and just the admin of liaising with the schools and the venues and preparing. I've got my box of goodies with all my little bits and pieces, and I'm making sure I've got enough little activity sheets and all those sorts of things. And then we have another very big event in September, don't we? who wants to do the honours in announcing
You do it,
our fun
Tina.
event?
Yeah, you do it. Yeah.
The Book Deal podcast is going to be hosting a live podcast episode, live podcast chat with our special guest of honour, Toni Jordan, and it will be at the woohoo! It'll be at the Emerging Writers Festival in Melbourne next month. I've forgotten the dates. Who remembers them?
12th of September. Let me just double check my calendar.
Yeah, like a month from today.
So exciting.
Very
Yep, Saturday the
exciting.
12th, 4:15 p.m. And it's part of the National Writers Conference at the Emerging Writers Centre. So you can purchase a ticket for both days because it's over that whole weekend and you can attend. They've got some amazing sessions for emerging writers, not just emerging, but also established writers as well. Or you can just come to our session, so you can purchase an individual ticket. It's going to be really fun. It's at the Wheeler Centre. It's a beautiful venue. Toni Jordan's going to be our agony aunt, so you can ask whatever question you want. And we've got a way to submit anonymous questions as well. So that way you can submit anything you like and she'll answer it live on stage. So it's going to be really fun and we get to be together in person.
I know. I don't know what part I'm more excited about. Coming, seeing you guys in person, just hanging out with Toni Jordan, being at the Emerging Writers Festival. The whole weekend's going to be pretty amazing. But like you said, Mads, there is a way that people can submit their questions before the event. So we have a link and I'll link it in the show notes. It's also, you can get to it from our Instagram page. It's just a drop form. It's just simply you pop in whatever question you want. Make it juicy, make it scary, make it controversial. We don't mind. Toni's keen for it. She's down for it. So anything that you want to ask about publishing, writing, we've got a couple so far, some agents, some really good questions so far. So if you have a burning question that you want to ask, now's the time. Even if you can't be there in person, send us the question anyway, because the episode is going to be recorded, so we will play that on the podcast. You'll be able to listen to it through however you listen to your podcasts.
But obviously, if you are here in Melbourne, you should definitely come. It's going to be a great opportunity to be there live in person with Toni, and I'm sure she'll be signing books at the end as well. So if you wanted to come up and say hi afterwards, I'm sure she would be most willing.
Because we did something last year very similar, didn't we, in Sydney? And we did with Hayley Scrivener. She was our agony aunt, and that was hugely successful, a ton of fun. And we think we're going to try and make it a yearly thing, aren't we? A live podcast with an awesome agony aunt guest. So stay tuned.
And the little thing that I wanted to mention earlier is there is a risk that we won't be able to have dinner afterwards because Melbourne Demons might be in the finals.
Madeleine's already warned us that she may have to ditch us because she'll have to go from that to the Melbourne Demons game.
Okay, Tina, you and I will make our own fun.
Yes, we will.
You've flown all the way to Melbourne. No, you're not allowed to have fun. You just have to go back home.
Okay.
Sit in silence while I go to the football because I don't want to have any FOMO. So
yeah, we'll definitely do that. You won't be thinking about us. You'll be too busy watching the game. I know how
and
huge
hugging
it would
strangers
be.
And crying. Exactly.
Yeah, and we may be doing the same, just not at the footy. Depends how the edits go. It's all good.
There might be a big party after the final. So look,
we'll meet you there.
It's two worlds colliding.
It is. It's perfect. Okay. All right, ladies, I don't want to take up too much of your time because you need to get back to work. You need to get back to edits. So you've given us some good tips and advice already for editing. Tell me, what's your number one tip for anyone going through the editing process or about to come up to the editing process?
Okay, I've got one. I've been noticing that sometimes when the editors have been asking questions, I get really defensive when I read them in the manuscript. And so every time I do that, I just take a beat and I'm like, what am I getting so upset about? And 100% of the time now, it's because she's found a problem that I secretly know about, but I was hoping I'd somehow, I don't know what, something. And so it's forcing me to just be really clear-eyed about what's still missing and thinking very specifically about things that I can fix. So it's not like broad strokes, I don't know about this. It's very specific questions. And actually, while it's hard to read them and to accept that that's still things that need to be fixed, it's hugely helpful. So if you're getting very specific feedback, pay attention.
Yeah, because I find that if you've been thinking it yourself, there's a reason for it. And they will always find it and tell you and call you out on it always. But that sometimes you do just need that extra pair of eyes and that extra voice to tell you. What about you, Mads? What have you got?
Yeah, and actually, just to add to that as well, sometimes you might not even be thinking it, but it like you feel it in your gut that there's some kind of issue, but you're not sure what it is, and you can't articulate what that is. They always pick it up, don't they?
I know.
That's good. That's the beauty of it, though, isn't it? Yeah.
I think my top tip goes back to what we were talking about earlier. There's no need to apologize. You haven't got it wrong. This is a process. You've got to trust the process. And I maybe need to take my own advice, but just go with it. You haven't failed anything. And also maybe to enjoy it as well, because like you said, Tina, you're watching from the outside. You've got that hindsight. You understand the hindsight. We're right in the middle of it. But this is exciting too. It is exciting to see the book take shape. And Tash said earlier, it really starts to become the book that it's meant to be, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I explained it to you like in a message actually that it is much like having a baby, you know.
Not that we know. We know.
But
Yeah, exactly. We don't know.
But you're birthing a book is the thing, right? So it's very similar, I think. It's painful. It hurts. You
It's
cry.
messy.
It's messy. You cry. It wrecks your body. You're never the same again afterwards, but in a really good way. And it's the endorphins and it's all those lovely chemicals that flood your body afterwards and the hormones and all the things that make you actually forget that time. Because I bet when you guys came in to edit, you'd forgotten the nitty-gritty and of the mental space and how you felt last time. And then it comes back to you and you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Why am I doing this again?
It's true, because you're like, oh, I've birthed one before. Surely birthing second.
It's the same. Yeah,
Makes
exactly.
you forget the pain. Makes you forget the pain, and then you go through it again. And so just remember, in a couple of months, you will forget the pain again, and then you have this beautiful book baby to show everyone, and you'll feel proud.
Thanks,
So that's my
Tina.
top tip.
I
Thanks,
actually feel
Tina.
better.
I actually do as well. I'm like, I'm
Oh, good.
birthing. Oh, maybe
You're
cut that. We don't need me shouting birthing. I'm birthing.
That's going to be the promo for our new intro, I think. We're not cutting that. That's not getting cut.
Oh no, you ladies are incredible. You're doing amazing things.
Can I just do one final plug?
Absolutely.
Tina, a year ago, you and I, in a couple of days, landed on Magnetic Island.
Don't raise this. I'm still pained over this.
So for listeners who want to go back to our old eps, Tina and I did a very special episode from Magnetic Island straight after she jumped in the pool. I remember
Literally
correctly.
straight after.
Literally straight after. That was a great time.
It
So
was.
feel
Our
free to go
Magnetic
back
Island.
in the archives and check.
Especially in winter. It's a nice thing to imagine.
Yes, the Writers on the Reef residency that was, and James Cook University and the Roderick Centre. This year's residents would be probably planning to leave soon.
Yeah,
or already
I think
there.
so.
Yeah. So yes, go back and listen to it. Lots of hot tips. We interview Nicole Crowe, who's also a author, but gives us lots of hot tips on how to make a cracker of a submission to increase your chances of being the next residents on the beautiful Magnetic Island. So I'm going to go back and look at the photos now.
Me too.
All right, ladies, get back to it. Go do those edits.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Book Deal podcast. If you are enjoying the pod, we'd really appreciate you following or sharing the show in your podcast directory, checking us out on Instagram and Facebook, or supporting us through our Patreon community at patreon.com/the Book Deal podcast.